So I think the High Court, the Delhi High Court, has cleared out everything what was there in terms of how did any person or any group of people got any kind of information. So now there has been a clarity. This clarity was long pending. The American courts have already given their kind of clarity. The European courts have given the European Convention of Protection of Human Rights have given their own guidelines. So in India, it was a uh, it was an idea wherein we didn't know what way an actual information would be considered by the court admissible, and another way was it considered illegal. So the most important part what comes out is that how that information is procured, how that information after procuring is used out. And now the Delhi High Court have made it very crystal clear, and it's a landmark judgment for all of us, that we should know that what kind of information is actually admissible. So if there are two people making a conversation and one person without the knowledge of another tries to record that particular conversation or illegally takes advantage of the messages, that is not admissible by the court. It's a landmark decision, and that is what is very much which was needed. So these kind of illegal wherever there is some kind of recording being done, wherever some kind of information being hacked, or some if that person is not knowing about or is not privy about the situation, so these all informations would not be considered admissible. For example, if there is some kind of terrorist activities which are going to take place, or there is some information that some people are going to have some kind of an emergency like a situation in our country, a planning of some kind of a terrorist activity, this could be one of the illustration. At that particular time, if such kind of information is taken into record, that would definitely be admissible, which are related to public welfare, which are related to public for the welfare of the people of the country at large. All these informations would be considered admissible at that particular juncture. Personal information, which are not hampering the public at large between you and me, will not be admissible. But if I am trying to make any kind of for statements, or I am trying to where my motive is to disarm a public at large, or a sect at large, or a community at large, so at that particular time, that information would be admissible by the courts. It's very valid, and it is the scenario as of now in the country. So opinions, media trials would be there. The judgment is going to take its own course of time. There is a procedure of law which is going to happen as per its own time, which is going to be taken. But public perception, public opinion out of the recordings would be taken on record. For any recording whichever comes out, the judgment, will it be admissible? I don't even know that people would actually go out into the courts. But in terms of creating a political narrative, in terms of creating a perception or an opinion in the minds of people, that would be utilized. That is no ban in that particular thing, and it is not illegal by the code of law or by the law of land as of now. But in terms of admissibility on a legal case, that is completely non-admissible as of now, as per the Honorable Delhi High Court's judgment. See, WhatsApp messages were long ago. The courts had given the clarity that they were not admissible, they were not proper evidences. So even now, intercepted messages also have the court have given a clear indication that these kind of messages would not be admissible. So any messages between two people, if someone hacks it out, or if that message is only for two people to be shown to some other person, so that will not be admissible. Only messages wherein there is some kind of public outcry, or there would be some kind of public outrage, or there is some kind of harm to the public, that messages could lead to admissibility. But interception of messages is going to be much more difficult in the interception of audio recordings, because messages are something which are always encrypted, and we would not know the real source of messages also in case of WhatsApp. So that is going to be very difficult for anyone. Even today, before the judgment also, messages were not considered to be admissible, because that was not a proper evidence in terms of the legal understanding before the. They are not admissible. That does not mean they are illegal. They are definitely not admissible in nature. So husband and wife are not the best of the people who would know what would be there in their family disputes, that what is admissible, what is not admissible. Only after they consult a lawyer, they'll come to know that the recordings, the messages are not admissible. But before that, obviously, they would be, because they would not have the legal understanding, they would have whatever recordings would be there, whatever messages they would have of each other, they would want to produce it before the court. But that is not admissible. So that is the point in the family cases. and there is a Supreme Court matter also which is ongoing to give up further clarity on this particular subject.